Afternoon, guys. So out in the woods today, nice little afternoon. Weather's a little bit bleh, so I've just strung a basher up between two trees here, just a basic lean-to arrangement. Pardon if you can hear any bone being gnawed on. It's the dog's found a deer's leg bone, so he's going to town on that at the moment, so I do apologise for any sound you pick up. And we're on a flight path as well, so if you see any planes, hear any planes flying over again, do apologise. But yeah, so I'm out in the woods today. I'm going to do a couple of little tests on a bit of cook setups that I've got. One in particular, which I've got sent through from one of our listeners, which I'm very grateful for. We all got sent one. Was Des Cattys Bushcraft. So he's got a YouTube channel, Des Cattys. Look him up. Got some great content on there. So make sure he sent me a little meths burner, which I'm going to try out, which I'm excited for. And it's a little bit smaller than the normal meths burner you get for a Trangia stove. But I do love the little setup of it. Got a little mesh in there and some gauze underneath that soaks up the methylated spirit. So yeah, I'm going to give that a try. And along with that, this Flexistove. Now this goes inside with the Crusader Cup cook set. I believe these were trialled for the British Army, but they never actually went with them. Having spoken to a few guys, I believe they did start to go a little bit meh after several uses. But I love the concept of it, how it's flat pack, you know, it's easily stored. I mean, look at that, you know, it's yeah, great little bit of kit. Hopefully I'm going to give that a try. It's going to be its first, I haven't even opened it yet, so this is going to be a new one on me. So I'm going to give that a go, see how it works, see how quickly it is to boil water to make myself a brew, because I'm gasping. So along with that, I've got the Flexistove, I've got Des's methylated spirits burner, or some sort of liquid fuel burner. Brought my Trangia, put my methylated spirit in there, nice and safe, proper safety transport bottle for it. So it's got a screw security top lid, so you can sling it in your bag, it's not going to leak, and you have to undo that and then press it, and obviously you'll get the methylated spirit coming out. So that's a great little bit to have if you've not got one. Highly recommend getting them. They are available in reds and other colours, but I do like a bit of tactical green, it's always good. So I'm going to be using that, and this is my go-to every event I go to. If I go out, take the dog out for a run, I've always got this in my day bag, just to have a little cook up. I've got a couple of the Dragonfire fuel cells, or Fire Dragon fuel cells. I've got my little BCB burner in here, which is just a completely reliable bit of kit. You know, you cannot, unless you stamped on it or run over it in a car, this will not break. It's a little bit battered now, but it's just such a basic cooking system. I mean, you can get, and you do get one windshield with these, but I always use two, purely just to contain the heat inside the burner itself. So that just slots in one side, and then I slot another one in on the other side. It doesn't suffocate the flame. You still get plenty of oxygen through there. You've still got gaps around the edges and on the underside, and that, as long as you clear the leaf litter from the ground, you'll be good to go. So yeah, it just contains that flame inside there, up around the bottom base of the cup. So yeah, that's a great little cooking system there. And along with that, I did bring my methylated spirits burner, which goes with the Trangia stove. This is my little Stanley cook set tin. So I always keep a few little bits and bobs in there. A lighter, a little stove, little cup mount for my stove, if that just clicks together. I'll show you that just quickly. It's relatively cheap, just off of eBay, about £5, something like that. Just a little cross section. Oh, there it goes, dropped it. And that'll click over the top of your methylated spirits burner, just as a nice base for your cup to sit on. Just two little metal pieces like that, which slot together and come apart, nice and easily stored. And this is like the original methylated. This is like the classic meths burner, so you can see there compared to Des's one. So it's a lot more pocket friendly, or packable friendly. It's a much smaller system. I don't think there's a great deal of difference in the volume of. Obviously, you can keep more fuel in there, but the actual surface area of where you'll get flame from is very, very similar. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'll do some timings and stuff like that, a little bit of mad science. But yeah, that's obviously the classic meths burner. Then it comes in a little carry pouch like that, just to keep it all nice and tidy and tucked away. So that's that there. And I'll just keep in this tin I've got a couple of sachets of coffee, some emergency windproof, waterproof matches, and a spare lighter, and a couple of cheeky oxide cubes, because you can't beat a hot cup of oxide. It's the best. I don't care what anyone says, it's amazing. So that's it. That's basically the systems I'm going to be testing. And once I've made my coffee, it wouldn't be coffee without a cheeky wee dram inside it. So I bought a little to go in the coffee once it's done, just to warm me up on this winter's morn, well, afternoon, shall I say. and the classic 3-in-1 coffees, because you know me with my 3-in-1 coffees, they are the business. So yeah, I'll get back to you in a bit once I'm all set up and we're ready to go.
Which isn't a bad thing, I suppose.
Bit of cooking testing.
But I'm just getting some bits set up here. This is the new Flexistove, and to be honest with you, I have noticed a bit of a problem already. Was that it's a great fit, don't get me wrong, for the cup, but it is snug. So what I've done is I've just put a couple of temp pegs in the bottom there, just so when I do lift the cup out, it doesn't pull. Because otherwise, if I lift that up without the temp pegs being there, it stays with the cup, and you've potentially got to try and like, grab the edge, try and lift it out and that. So I thought, well, just a couple little pegs in there, just to keep it secure. Just while I'm testing it and that, I might cut down some smaller or get some nails and get some U-shaped nails just as prongs, just to push into the ground to go with the if I show you quickly what I mean. If I'm cooking away and I go to pick the cup up, it stays with the cup, which I suppose isn't a bad thing. You could just leave it to go out, but if you want to get the cup out, I mean, it isn't a ball ache. There is a potential there to get a bit of a burn on the old fingers, so you want to be careful with that. So I just thought, well, let's bang them in there, either side of the stove, just to offer a bit of purchase, just so I can remove the cup once I've done my testing. But it does fit snug. I mean, the good thing I like about this is that there's no heat can escape around the top edge of the cup. All the heat's going to be concentrated at the base. So I've got a good feeling about this. That this is going to be a more proficient boiling system than perhaps the BCB burner or I mean, obviously I forgot I brought these with me, and obviously these are just your 3 nails, and what they are is they're 3 6-inch nails held together with a rubber band. I mean, this is a very classic cooking setup for the. And all I've done is, because I couldn't get flat tops, they were dome tops, so I've just filed the tops, and essentially it's just 3 nails in the ground, in a triangle. Try and get them as level as possible, obviously, you can adjust that. What I normally tend to do, but I didn't bring my little shovel with me, is I dig a little pit, and I push them in there nice and low, so the actual cup is only sitting like about 1 inch off the ground. But then essentially what you're doing then is you'll have your little fuel cell or your little fire in there, whatever it is, a stick fire or whatever you're making, and then you just pop your cup on top of your 3 nails. Again, it's a perfectly acceptable method, and it's a very, very small, compact cooking setup. I mean, essentially there is your cooker, is your 3 nails, which is a great little bit of kit. I've broken my rubber band because it's very, very old, so I'm going to have to get a new rubber band. But yeah, again, I've got just another option for you to use. But yeah, I'm excited to try this out. I think this is going to be quite cool. And I did, and I think it's in my bag there, is the BCB lid for my cup. So I'm going to locate that, and I'll add that to it. So I do want to use that just to contain that heat, because you do lose a bit of water and steam at the top and heat at the top of the cup. So I've got a little plastic BCB lid, kidney bean shaped lid to go on top of my cup. So I'm going to give that a go as well, and then I'll come back once we're all filled up with water and ready to light it. I'll try and light them as quickly as possible together. I might allow the last one a couple of extra seconds, just for me working my way through lighting them. And yeah, and we'll crack on. So yeah,
I've got it all set up now. I've sort of fashioned a bit of a stove for Des Cattys' meths burner. So it's my BCB burner. I've topped up with meth spirit into Des's cook set there. And I've used my 3 nails just for mounting my Stanley tin on, which sits there nicely like that. So what I've done is I've put 500 ml of water, ice cold water, in each. Although I've got my flask with me, I can guarantee you it is ice cold water. I'm not cheating. It is ice cold water. There we go. So yeah, I put 500 ml of water in each of my containers. So I've got 500 ml in the BCB Crusader cup, and I've got 500 ml in the Stanley mess tin cooking pot. There's my lid for the old BCB burner, which was in my bag. So I'm going to add that to that, because obviously that comes with a lid as well. So I want to try and keep it as fair as possible. I've got 2 Dragonfire fuel cells in the Flexistove, and obviously I've got Des's bad boy all set up ready to go in there. So I'm going to get these lit as quickly as possible. I think Des's one's going to be a bit trickier to light because it's a bit breezy in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light that first, and then I'm going to jump into the Flexistove and then get that lit, and I'll allow sort of like 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds to each to the Stanley system. Sorry, to the BCB. Just obviously this has been lit first. So here we go. Hopefully that's a light. No. There, we've got flameage. It's the trouble with meths burners, that it's really hard to see the flame. but I can guarantee you it is a light. Stove's on there like that, and we've got 12, 56 and 39 seconds. So here we go, game on. Come on, there we go. That is a light now as well. So that's the Dragon Fuel's a light, and that is sitting in there snug, and we're at 12:56 and 59 seconds, so that's about 20 seconds difference. So now I'm guessing it is just a waiting game to see how we go. I'm not going to sit here and let you watch the water boil, because that is boring as hell. So we'll come back to you once we've got a bit of water action, and maybe get some close-ups and see how we're getting on with the water. But yeah, awesome. Right, guys, let's have a little look from my point of view. It's been a couple of minutes. Got some condensation on the BCB, so if I'm just going to whip that lid off quickly, have a little look, and we've got bubbles on the bottom already and some steamage, and that's been about 2 minutes. So yeah, that's quite impressive. I'm not losing much heat. I'm getting a bit of heat loss out of the holes on the side of the Flexistove, but I'm getting an awful lot of heat concentrated on the underside of that cup, which is impressive. I'm not sure if it needs all of those holes. Perhaps it does to dissipate the heat, to stop it. I mean, obviously it is fireproof, but I'm guessing material can only be so fireproof. I don't know. But yeah, that's quite impressive so far. Over on the Stanley, Des's little burner was going good un, absolute beast. So let's whip the lid off the old Stanley pot and see what we've got. And again, we've got bubbles, a little bit of condensation inside the lid, and a little bit of steamage. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I don't think Des's, and it's no fault of Des's at all, but because this is much more contained, I mean, there's a lot of flame leaking around the edges there. I mean, that's probably my fault for not sort of thinking about Des's burner needing its own little sort of housing. So yeah, regardless of the outcome, I'm more interested in how the Flexistove performs, because I know what MEFS burners are like. It's the same with the Tranger burner, the MEFS burner for the Tranger, it's the same thing. You know, you've got to keep it contained, it's only a small flame. Right guys, it's been 5.5 minutes now. Just going to check the BCB burner. Let's have a little look. Yeah, we've definitely got some nice hot water coming along nicely. Obviously it's not boiling, but we're certainly getting little bubbles coming up. I don't think it's going to be long. So yeah, about 5.5 minutes it's been. Let's check Des's one. Let's put the old Stanley off. Yeah, we've definitely got some nice steam going on there, and we've got some bubbles on the bottom there. So yeah, definitely water's definitely getting hotter. Like I said, my fault really. It's not really got a great containment system for Des's one, for Des Cattys MEFS burner, but it is obviously I am losing a bit of heat around the edge of the pot. However, it is still heating the water up, so you know, with an added windshield or something like that, that is only going to get improved that time. So yeah, great stuff. I must admit, I am more interested in how this performs, because I've never tried it before. MEFS burners I've used a lot, so I know what they're like. But I am interested to see this now. I'm noticing a lot bit more flame around the out of these portholes now, and a little bit of flamage coming up the back of where the handle of the cup is. You just see just down there. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool setup. I mean, I've not noticed it getting damaged or anything like that. I don't really want to lift the cup out yet, because I'm interested to see how long it takes to actually boil. I mean, we're on 6 minutes now. For boiling water, and like I said, I've done half a litre. I haven't done a full litre in the cup. I've done half a litre in the cup, because obviously when you are cooking, you're cooking a ration pack meal. You wouldn't even use half a litre of water to cook a boil in the bag meal, because I always put the boil in the bag in first and then top up the water, and then obviously the leftover boiling hot water is what I use for my brew. So yeah, I mean, you rarely put a boil, just a litre of water on its own, very rarely. It'd be less than half a litre, I'd say. In most cases, unless it's a dry freeze-dried bag of food that you'd have to add water to, and it's over half a litre, I don't know. But I know you can get some of the mountain warehouse like meals for 3 people, and I think you have to bang a litre of boiling water in there and let it sit for a few minutes, and then you just share it out between 3 of you. But yeah, very rarely do I boil any more than sort of half a litre at the time, if that. So yeah, all good. Yeah, performing well. Like I said, I've not noticed any burns or anything, or misshapening of this Flexistove. You know, it's quite impressive. Just a little second. And there we go, down inside there. Look, so that's the Dragon fuel cells all sitting on the base there. They've all sort of completely melted. And yeah, no signs of damage or anything like that. So that, I mean, I'm quite impressed with it. I think it's pretty cool. But then I'm not using it day in, day out in the field as a British Army soldier or anything like that. I'm just over in the woods, just cooking hot water for coffee. So there we go. Good stuff, guys. back now, it's 13:08. So I believe that's about 8 minutes or so, 8 or 9 minutes, and we've got a rolling boil on the BCB with the Flexistove. There it is, which is fantastic. And over in Stanleyland, we are sitting at, yeah, definitely hot enough. But like I said, you know, my fault. I didn't sort of consider the arrangement for the mesh burner, but I was very interested to see how this would go. So yeah, we've got a full rolling boil now with a ½ litre of water in there. So I can get that out, mate. So brew because I'm gasping. But yeah, that's impressive. Right guys, so on the Flexistove, we've got a full rolling boil. Like I just said, Stanley's still cooking away, so I'm just going to whip this cup out of here now, and we'll let that die out. So there's a full rolling boil on there. Let me someone bring it back to the boil again, just to prove the point. You guys can see in there now. Yes, instantly back to a rolling boil. Marvellous stuff. So I can get that off. Little tip with metal cups, is always put a bit of sniper tape around where you're going to drink from. That's quite gipping and old now. I do need to renew it, but it will stop your lips sticking to the cup if you do drink from directly from this from there once it comes off the stove. So yeah, we're going to let that die out now. I mean, there's no damage in there at all. I mean, the sides, they feel quite warm at the side there, but if I tilt that, you can just see, well, that is warm. It does hold a lot of heat around the outside edge. That's a nice little hand warmer for afterwards. I can remember that. Yeah, Stanleyland, we're still warming through, so we're going to leave them to boil up. I'm going to move that Flexistove out of the way. Actually, I can leave it there, it's fine. I'll pop these back in though, just to keep it secure in case I kick it or something. There we go. Right, let me get a brew on, because I am gasping. I've got my little flask cup there, so I'm going to pop a bit of hot water in that. I need to save a little bit of room at the top for her. Here's the old 3-in-1. I've not had a drink since I left home, and I'm gasping for this now. Very excited. It's the little things in life, isn't it? If you've not got a teaspoon, you know, I'm all for secondary uses of things. So the packaging that the 3-in-1 comes in, just fold it a couple of times. Perfecto, marvelosio. Acts as a perfectly serviceable stirring stick. There we go. Where's that bad boy there? Yes. Let's have a little sniff. Oh! Oh, it's magic. Absolute magic. Let's have a look at that. There we go. Dram to water ratio. Well, I'm not going to go into that. Final little stirrage. Oh, that's first class. Oh, it's like an angel crying on your tongue. Well, there we have it, guys. I'm very impressed with the Flexistove. I think it's a great bit of kit. Like I said, I've not noticed any damage. I'm going to continue using this because I want to really sort of hammer it now and see how long it takes for it. So, like, this is its first burn. What we're on now, we're on the 8th of January. So we'll continue to use this. I'll try and get as many burns on it as I can between now and my next event, which I believe is March. So I'm hoping to get a good couple of dozen days out with this, and just to brew it up, just to get a couple of dragon fuel cells in there, cook myself up a coffee. That's delicious, that is. I love that. And yeah, see how we go. Just put it through its paces, basically. And yeah, I'll sort of report back. I think Stanleyland, it's yeah, it's not really boiling. Although that burner is brilliant. I do love the burner. I don't think I've got it set up correctly to sort of like get proper use of the heat that it puts out, so that's completely my fault that this isn't boiling. I'm not putting anything on the burner. The actual burner itself, for packability, usage, the flame output is brilliant. I love it. It's easy to light, you know, it's well constructed, it's lightweight, perfect for a little day sack. It's just started raining, so I'm glad I got the basher up. But yeah, that's purely my fault. I need to sort out another little arrangement for the burner, just as a windbreaker. That's the main thing. That's what the crux of it comes down to, is the amount of wind that's coming through where I'm filming. It's just knocking that flame off completely out the bottom of this cooking pot there. So yeah, guys, yeah, I think that's been quite successful. I'm going to sit back and enjoy my coffee. I'm going to watch my dog eat a deer's leg bone, and then I'm going to get packed up and then head home. So yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and there'll be plenty more coming up. So yeah, nice one. Awesome. Hey guys, so whilst I'm trekking back out the woods with the dog, little question to finish on would be, out of the cook sets that you've seen today, what would be your cook set of choice? You know, if you had to choose one to keep on you to use in sort of like a, I don't know, emergency situation, or for every day-to-day day bag, just to have a brew up in the forest if you're out and about, what one would you choose and why? You know, just take into consideration, you know, you've got the new Flexistove, which I've tried. You've got Des Cattys mess burner. Obviously we've got the Transjust mess burner, or the BCB cook stove with the Fire Dragon fuel cells. So yeah, stick your answers in the comments below, or message me directly on Instagram, the Punish one, or get in touch with the podcast, which is November Foxtrot, or NoFo. Look us up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, give us your answers, chaps.